Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Steve from balloonprofessionals.org, and today is Valentine's Day, or as we like to call it around our shop, February Fool's Day. Yep. How many of you went out like good balloon people and bought all kinds of Valentine's Day stuff and got it ready and got your stuff all excited and blah, blah, blah. You just sat there waiting for that phone to ring. Yeah, we didn't either. It's okay. We actually didn't. You know, it's really funny because there was so many people that I saw like in Facebook and everything posting about, you know, how upset they were that their Valentine's Day was really, really low. And I have to honestly tell you, I've been in business 21 years, have never had a successful Valentine's Day ever. The most jobs I've ever done on a Valentine's Day, and I'm talking, let's talk just deliveries, okay? Let's just talk about Valentine specific deliveries. The best Valentine's Day I've ever had in 21 years, three deliveries on Valentine's Day. See, again, remember, I'm not a retail operation. I do not have a store. I don't do the kiosk thing. I've never done I have no desire to buy all that inventory and then sit at a mall for 3 days with this big pile of stuff and be constantly paranoid that the moment I turn around over here to talk to this customer, some kid just ran off with a bouquet going that way. I just don't have a desire to deal with that. But when you look at decor and everything else, if you have a specific Valentine's themed event, I can count that too. And this year, I was so excited because we were primed to break that record. We actually had a $1,000 order for Valentine's Day. Oh my God, we are going to eclipse the 4-figure mark for Valentine's Day. And they canceled last week. So as of right now, Valentine's Day, big fat 0 for Esteban. But again, I used to get hung up on this. I used to get upset about it. And now for me, it's kind of laughable. It's just like, it is what it is. You have to understand, my level of expectation came from businesses around me. When I was in Cincinnati, there was a company about 2 hours north of me. And they were the mother lode of the region. I mean, they were the balloon company of the region. And their Valentine's Day, at least at one time, I don't know if it still works that way or not anymore, but at one time, their Valentine's Day literally consisted, they had a store in downtown Columbus. The rumor was that every Valentine's Day, a couple days before, they would rent hotel rooms. They would rent one in the north part of town, they'd rent one in the south part of town, the east side and the west side. And then what they did is, like I said, about 3 days before Valentine's Day, they would get these hotel rooms, they'd all be ground level, they'd all have patio access. And then what they would do is they would literally stock each hotel room with its own workstation. So they would bring a table in, they would bring helium tanks in, all the inventory, ribbon, all that stuff. And they'd have it all right there. And then over the course of 3 days, people would man that hotel room. And what would happen is orders would come in to the store. And then rather than try to build everything out of the store and deliver them out, they would literally call the location and say, okay, here's your order, here's your information, blah, blah, blah. And they would do the orders. And literally thousands of orders were being done out of this one store on Valentine's Day. Now, is that the way it is anymore? Probably not. But what you have to remember is that's the psychological battle I had to deal with and that I dealt with for probably the first 10 years of my business. I would literally just get so upset and depressed over the fact that I didn't have any Valentine's Day business. Eventually, I had to learn, I don't need it. I really don't need it. I've got other things to do. I got other things I can work on. That doesn't have to be my business. Now, if it was something that you were hoping for, if it's something that you as a balloon professional were really hoping for, first of all, if you have a retail location, I completely understand why you were hoping for a good Valentine's Day. The bottom line is I personally think that the grocery stores have just, and the dollar stores and the grocery stores have just absolutely beaten up Valentine's Day for the most part. And I'm not putting them down for that. That's it. And this is one of those times even when you have to go, okay, look, you know something? Yeah, they're making an absolute ton of money. But you know what? The more people see balloons, the more it helps all of us. The tide does raise all boats. And that's how you have to look at it, I think. If your primary source of income in the balloon world comes from simply blowing up balloons and tying them on string, you're screwed. The market has changed dramatically. It's not the same way it was anymore. If you're basically just want to be a balloon counter and blow up balloons in time to string, then you are constantly going to be battling with the cheapest product out there. You have to offer other stuff. Whether it's party supplies, whether it's services, whether it's what have you, you have to offer other things. It takes me back to the balloon in a box. Again, my age is showing. Years ago, when I first got in the industry, the big thing was balloon in a box. And it was, you bought a cardboard box with a lid. It was a nice little decorative type box, okay? And inside, you had a foil balloon for whatever the occasion was. If it was a birthday or Valentine's Day, and they would basically blow up the balloon, tape it to the bottom of this box, okay? The ribbon, tape the ribbon, and then put the balloon in the box, put the lid on the box, tie it with a bow. That's it. So what would happen is you would deliver the balloon box, the person would, oh, what's this? Open the box, oh, a balloon! And that's the big surprise, okay? I can't tell you how many people basically tied their dreams to a balloon in a box. So imagine how devastated they were when Toys R Us came out with their own balloon in a box. And oh, by the way, they were partnering with a major manufacturer. And oh, by the way, the balloon in a box, the do-it-yourself balloon in a box, that they'd even blow up the balloon for you, was a fraction of the price that all these other people were doing. If your primary revenue stream is just blowing up a balloon and tying it to string, and that's what you're banking on, you have to recognize the fact that you are going to lose to the box stores and the big chains every time because they can do it cheaper. Everybody goes, oh, they're loss leaders. No, they're not loss leaders. They're making money off an 89-cent balloon. They are. They wouldn't be doing it if they're not. If you want to tell yourself that to sleep at night better, that's fine. But I promise you, they're making a profit off an 89-cent balloon. Now, it may not help you when you're sitting there on a big pile of inventory and wondering, what am I going to do with all this? I get it. This is why you see, again, when I was young and first in this business, I fell for all that crap. I went out and bought, the plush teddy bears, and I went out and bought all the happy Valentine's Day stuff, and I went out and bought all sorts of stuff. I don't do that anymore. I only buy solid color hearts. I buy any decor. If I have to buy hearts at all, even like the metallic, like the linky hearts and all that, as long as they're a solid color or just a color, I'll buy them. If they're branded in some way, no, not gonna bother. I don't need it anymore. The funniest thing for me about Valentine's Day is that Valentine's Day, in my history, has one of my favorite scams of all time on me. Now, when I say scam, I mean someone trying to get free stuff from me or trying to play something off on me. But it is a funny story, and I do enjoy it looking back on it. I'm bewildered to some extent by the amount of audacity that not one, but two people had. So if you don't have anything better to do, I'll share the story with you. So I was probably in business for about 5 or 6 years. And one day it's probably 3 days before Valentine's Day. And my phone rings, and there's a young man on the other end named Darnell. And he says to me, hey, do you do balloon deliveries for Valentine's Day? And I said, I do. He goes, okay, I need your help. Okay. And he's very excited. You can hear it on the phone. He's a very energetic young man. He's like, my girl is the greatest thing ever. And I just think she's the most wonderful thing on the world. And I really want to show her how much she means to me. And so if I give you like $25, can you make me an incredible balloon delivery? I know what most of you stopped right there. The moment you heard the dollar figure, you stopped and you went, whatever. But you have to understand something. Those of you that are watching this, that have been in business for quite a while, you can be more selective. You can pick and choose. When you're younger and when you've been doing it for a very short time and it's not even about the money. It's about acceptance, right? It's about the fact that this person, my marketing worked. This guy found me in the Yellow Pages, because yeah, believe it or not, back then there was the Yellow Pages. In fact, maybe it was the Yellow Pages, maybe it was my van, maybe whatever. But something I did marketing-wise, this guy found. And he called me. And he wants me to do his balloons. It wasn't about the money. It was about the fact that somebody wants to work with me. Dude, I got you covered. I will help you out. I will get you a really nice, impressive balloon bouquet for $25. So I said to him, okay, no problem at all. We'll get this set up. We'll make it really big and poofy, blah, blah, blah. I just need your credit card. Well, that's the thing. Now, anytime a conversation begins with, now that's the thing, you know you're in trouble. Yeah, I don't have a credit card. I don't. Well, I say, well, that's okay, because if you have a debit card, that'll work too. I don't have a debit card either. What I got is cash. You take cash, right? I'm like, well, yes, cash is a currency, but it's awfully hard to do this because of this. No. See, I got it figured out. So I'm going to have the cash, and I'm going to have it in an envelope, right? And when you knock on the door, I'm going to hand her the envelope. Baby, go answer the door. That's for you. And then she's going to get up. She's going to come answer the door. And then she's going to open the door. And there you are with her balloons. Like, there you go. Happy Valentine's Day. At which point, I'm going to come up behind her and be standing there going, Happy Valentine's Day, baby. See, you'll get your money. She'll get her balloons. Everything's going to be great. And this kid's enthusiasm just absolutely won me over. And I'm like, okay, this is against my better judgment. I know better than to do this, but I'm going to do it. You know what? Let's do it. He's so excited, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I make the bouquet, and I bag it up, throw it in the van, I drive on over. And of course, that particular Valentine's Day, I think I had 2 deliveries. And it was the first one of the day. And so I get to the front door, and I knock at the door. And the door opens up, and there's a young woman standing there. And the first thing I notice is there's absolutely no envelope in her hand. And looks at me and she goes, yeah? I'm sorry, is Darnell here? Darnell ain't here. I ain't seen him in months. Oh, okay. Well, thank you anyway. And I literally, at that point, turned around and walked away and took the bouquet back to the van, put it back in the van, and drove off, okay? So I'm literally standing there, and of course now I'm in a huff because I knew better. And yet, fresh with my wound, somebody else has to put salt in it. So I'm literally driving off, and all of a sudden my phone rings, and my cell phone, and my business was forwarded to my cell phone. And I answer the phone, can I help you? Yeah, are you the guy that just had balloons at my front door? And I can't remember her name now. I really can't say my. Let's say her name was Susan. And I said, is this Susan? She goes, yes. I said, okay, well then, yeah, that was me. Well, why didn't you give me the balloons? Well, ma'am, they weren't paid for. Darnell was supposed to be there and pay for them. Well, that don't matter. Why didn't you just leave them? I'm sorry. Why would I just leave them? Well, it's not like you're going to give them to somebody else anyway. And I hung up the phone. I swear to God. At that point, I was absolutely blown away by the audacity. First of all, the young man. Secondly, of her. And at first, I even thought to myself, I even started putting 2 and 2 together. Maybe this was Darnell's opportunity trying to get back together with Susan. Maybe he had every intention of being there, and maybe his car broke down, maybe whatever, and he didn't make it. Blah, blah. He was too embarrassed to call, and blah, blah. But then when she made that little thing, yeah, that just kind of threw that all by the wayside. So yeah, that's one of my favorite scams of my life. There's one though, I'm gonna have to make it its own individual blog because it was just way too good. So yeah, but that's the story of Darnell and Susan. So there you go. Well, that's about all for this one. I'm Steve Jones, and I gotta go because I got stuff to do.